All right, y'all. Today we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business. We're gonna check its local and city searches and see if they got BSS for any of them. And y'all already know we're back here in the GBC universe, where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that, pin video, home video, somewhere around here. And that is because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our FSIC graph here in white. Over on the left, the highest intent people, these are people searching on Google, searching on social, social search, Google search for boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. And highest conversion rate, closest to the money. So we talk about here, BSS is the videos we make about. And over on the right, the lowest intent people, they ain't searching for boudoir photo shoot in their city right now. They're actually, they are actually not even able to search that because most of them don't even know what boudoir is. So lowest intent peeps, got to reach them through interruption ads on Facebook or Instagram. And our sister brand we talk about that is Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, and we talk about BLCS over there. So BSS is boudoir search sameness. So when boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 on Google. So 0 slots, I mean, we're dying here. And that means 0 slots page 1 means we're page 2 or deeper. And we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even reach page 2. So they're page 1 and done searches. And that means we're not being seen or invisible to approximately 80% of the market, which is actually the bulk of the market. 1 slot on page 1 Google, that's not good either, because now there's 10 organic slots page 1 on Google. There's 9 other slots. Let's say there's 9 other boudoir photographers. So we got 1 slot, same as everyone else. We look the same as everyone else. We're not standing out at all. A boudoir buyer is actually just going to click down all 10 links and contact every boudoir photographer, try to, compare prices, drive the prices down as much as possible, negotiate, margins collapse. So we cannot have only 1 slot on Google page 1 either. Next, 0 or 1 slots on page 1 Google is actually not normal. It's common, it's accepted, but it's not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. There's 2 deeper root causes. First one is market saturation. Basically, everyone knows about this one. Like just over time, people get new iPhones, people get new cameras, new gear, and they're throwing up their Google My Business profile saying they now offer boudoir photo shoots. They throw up, their website saying they're now a boudoir photographer. They post in the mom groups on Facebook saying they now shoot boudoir. So more sellers for the same number of buyers make it harder and harder for every single seller. Now, the one that most people do not know about is the false belief of page 1 equality. This is kind of, automatically accepting or not really questioning that, yeah, every boudoir photographer gets either 0 or 1 slots page 1 on Google, and yeah, maybe my website was ranked 8th page 1 on Google. Then we had some market saturation coming in, and now, now I'm on page, I'm the second option, slot 2 on page 2. And it's like, well, that's market saturation. That's what happens. But I hope, I hope that, basically, I hope they delete their website and Google de-indexes them so Google can bring me back on page 1. And so this is this is like kind of accepting this is actually a false belief, because what I figured out is Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And I know this because I went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days using this new methodology we developed. So the false belief of page 1 quality is exactly that. It's a false belief. Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. Next, a boudoir photographer with BSS, boudoir search sameness, is a disappearing boudoir photographer, a DBP. So we got our micro universe brewing here. A disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. But thankfully, we now have a solution. We've discovered that BSS is actually treated with social search saturation, aka S-cubed methodology. And we know this because we invented it. And what's special about this is, well, first thing, how it works, is exactly how the name says, social search saturation. We saturate social search with the highest boudoir buyer and the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in our city, making sure we show up there. That's kind of like the snow on the top of the Andes Mountains in South America, on the backside of those mountains, the eastern side. Because what happens down there is that snow melts into small streams, small rivers, and eventually it all floods into the Amazon River. That's Google page one. The snow at the top of the backside of those mountains, that's social search saturation. So we got to start with the snow, social search saturation to dominate page one Google search. And again, this is the exact methodology I use to go from 0 to 10 slots page one on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page one on Google in only 10 days. Now, what's special about this strategy is this is the only strategy I've seen for boudoir photographers that can successfully fight against market saturation and allow boudoir photography business to continue to grow, even without, basically in a relatively quick time frame. The second option that is out there is having a large, massive brand, but that doesn't satisfy the relatively quick requirement because that takes like 5 to 10 years. And interestingly enough, I believe this strategy, SQ methodology, can actually speed up creating a brand by approximately 8x kind of normal method because we're on so many different surfaces being seen so much. That's, we're really hammering the mere exposure effect here, in our city's minds, kind of as a secondary benefit to getting these page one slots on Google. And, let's do an example here, SQ methodology. So let's say we're in Tampa, Florida. There's 1 million boudoir photographers in the market. We're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they shoot boudoir. Everyone's fighting for page one Google search. We're like, dude, this competition's insane. Our only chance, well, since we don't have a brand, large known brand, our only chance to effectively compete here is, basically it is to utilize SQ methodology. So what we do is we crank it up to the max. So we crank up SQ methodology to the max, and let's say we get the first 300 slots for social search for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in our city, and those flow down onto Google. Let's say we get the first 300 slots on Google as well, and each page is 10 organic slots. We're taking up basically the first 30 pages on Google. So basically anywhere a boudoir buyer looks in our city, we're taking up, let's say, the first 300 slots, any surface they search, social search, Google search, whatever search. And so if we're essentially the only one boudoir photographer they can find, whose business is going to be growing in this marketplace? Obviously our business is going to be the only one growing. And so the other 999,999 other boudoir photographers, competitors, they're all disappearing. They're on like page 31 of Google. Like, or if we know approximately 80% of peeps ain't even hitting page 2, we already know there ain't nobody going to page 31. So this is a kind of an example, like ultra extreme version of how this can enable a boudoir photography business to grow in the presence or in a market getting more and more saturated over time, and even in the face of larger brands. Now, once true with the SQ methodology, we have page one visibility. So initial benefit is, obviously we're getting more slots page one Google search, but the second benefit, actually a lot of boudoir photographers say they like this second initial benefit the best. So every time we take that new slot, we're actually kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. So we're putting them on page 2 or deeper, and we already know approximately 80% of Google searches never even reach page 2. They're page 1 and done. So we're effectively disappearing our competitors where we can control if they disappear or not. And a disappearing boudoir photographer is kind of the flashing light, the warning signal that their boudoir photography business is on the path to disappearing as well. Now, page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us, BSV. This is where the GBC universe recommends hitting a recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page one on Google. And hitting that recommended minimum is because basically every other boudoir photographer is going to have one slot page one on Google. So if we got 3, we're dominating them right there. If they, ultra rare case, they got 2, our 3 still dominates them. So we want to hit 3 out of 10 page one slots Google search. Now, boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, VBP. This is our full micro universe here. We got a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness, is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and the false belief of page one equality. Okay, all well and good. We understand that now, but now we have a solution, S-cubed methodology. We achieve page one visibility. We become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. Now for my results using this S-cubed methodology was I wanted to rank and dominate page one for this keyword, BLCS boudoir. Now the organic slots here, that's what S-cubed methodology is for. So let's go down through them, see how many I got. So first one, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. Slot 10, me. So again, I'm from 0 out of 10 slots page one on Google, page one Google search, to 9 out of 10 slots page one Google search in only 10 days. So these are my results that I got utilizing this strategy. All right, now main event here, we're going to check this boudoir photography business. We're going to check out its local search and its city search. See if they got BSS for either local or their city search, and also see if they're hitting the GBC recommended minimums, 3 out of 10 slots for each. So we're going to Hampton, Virginia, and Newport News, Virginia. All right, let's head over there now. Hampton, Virginia, just no data. All right, so let's see what we got. Go to organic. So boom, we got one. Let's see what else. Let's see. All right, so we got one. So we got 1 out of 10 for local. Yeah. All right, so 1 out of 10 for local. And now let's check city. Let's see. And 1 out of 10 for city. All right, so for both. All right, so we got 1 out of 10 for both. And so that means we got BSS for both of them. And we're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum, 3 out of 10 slots, page one Google search for either of them. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've actually done your local searches, your city searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords in your city, and you have seen you got BSS for at least one of those searches, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page one Google search for at least one of those searches. And you've accepted that the false belief of page one equality is exactly that, a false belief. So like, man, yeah, we actually can take as many page one slots on Google as we want. And so you kind of broke through the mental barrier, and you're seeing, wow, S-cubed methodology, that's the solution I need. That's what I've been waiting for. It's the solution for me. And you're liking the initial benefits, yeah, more slots for you, page one Google search. And then obviously you also like kicking your competing with photographers off page one, effectively rendering them invisible to approximately 80% of the market, or approximately 80% of buyers. That's a good strategic move. And you understand market saturation, yeah, more peeps become boudoir photographers over time, and it's because people upgrade their gear. But you're also remembering back in COVID, what happened? A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people still need to earn money. Everyone's got a superpowered smartphone with an ultra camera. So a ton of new boudoir photographers enter the market. Increased supply, more sellers for the same number of buyers, harder for every single seller. And now you're seeing AI taking more people's jobs. And you're actually seeing that more peeps will, AI's only simply going to get better and better over time. We're going to take more and more people's jobs over time. So like, people upgrading their gear, come boudoir photographers, and people on top of that, way more people actually losing their jobs due to AI. Going to be coming and being boudoir photographers on top of all that, the people upgrading their gear. So you're realizing it's not just simply about getting page one links and kicking competitors off page one. You actually need to fortify your position. Like literally have page one backup links where you got so many links that you've already taken up basically all the slots you can on page one, that all the other links that could be ranking on page one, Google actually puts them, page 2, page 3, page 4, kind of like backlog of links that are page one worthy. So then you can essentially prevent all current boudoir photographer competitors from ever ranking on page one, and also essentially prevent all the future boudoir photographers from ever future boudoir photographers actually come through AI taking their job from ever ranking on page one. So you understand, you got to fortify your position, like fortifying the levees down in Nolens, Louisiana, because that city's actually below sea level, so they got to fortify the levees against the ocean. And you're saying, okay, how do we get all these links? And you're saying, okay, S-cubed methodology, got it. That's that's fortification. That's the benefit SQ methodology gives as well. And you want to achieve page one visibility in order to become a visible boudoir photographer, to achieve boudoir search visibility, because you need these things on your path to becoming the number one boudoir photographer in your city. And you are also understanding kind of the future benefits of SQ methodology, where you know all these all the social search saturation we're doing for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords. You're understanding that we're basically building like these invisible thematic keyword columns, plugging them into your brand, your business name, your website name, your personal name, your social media handles. And every day we build these up by successfully executing SQ methodology. We're actually increasing the probability in two places, that we show up in two places. The first one here, AI overview, most premium placement in Google search, number one organic slot here, cannot buy this with ads. And we're also increasing the probability of being shown in AI search apps. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, increasing the probability showing up there every day. And that's important because AI search is growing every day while Google standard search is declining every single day. And you know that AI search is important. So these two benefits, AI overview, AI search, SQ methodology gives these, because it's exactly what we're doing, building the invisible thematic keywords columns. It's kind of like back-end AI keyword mindshare. That's kind of momentum. That's exactly what it is. So every day we do it. Success of SQ methodology, we're increasing the probability of showing up here. And I remember the last time I searched for boudoir photographers in a city with an AI app, was with ChatGPT. It gave me 3, but I went to then look manually, Google standard search, Facebook search, and dude, there's like 60. It's like, man, we gotta get in on these AI slots any way possible. And that's SQ methodology is the greatest, best way that I've ever seen that enables the highest probability for a boudoir photographer to achieve that. And you also like future benefits, yeah, can help build a brand approximately 8x faster than standard methods. And you also understand that my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. And so you like getting all these benefits, and also you like being able to prevent your competitors from getting these benefits, so you can actually build up massive link war chest, link ranking, and link kind of back-end AI keyword mindshare momentum. Massive gap between you and your competitors to basically make it so that that gap can be made so big that basically no current competitor could essentially catch you, and no future competitor that actually comes from AI taking a job that basically ever catch you. And that's why you've decided to be first mover, because you want all these benefits and to prevent your competitors from getting all these benefits. You let that gap, because you understand the converse. The converse is actually that one of your competitors in your city signs on with me first. We're putting their links, page one Google search. You're getting pushed off. You're on page 2 or 3 or somewhere deeper and visible to approximately 80% of the market or more. We're fortifying their page one links in Google search, so that essentially you'll never be able to rank on page one again as long as we keep executing. We're building out the backend AI keyword mindshare momentum, and make it a super large gap between your competitor and you. And you're realizing to compete, you'd actually have to rederive SQ methodology, which, derive it for the first time, and you would never actually know if you've derived it correctly. 100%, you'd never be 100% confident you've derived it correctly. And then you'd have to go execute it every single day, same as us. But if you did both those things, the gap me and your competitor have already have ahead of you, it would be the same distance. You'd be maintaining the size of that gap. So to make any headway, close that gap, you'd actually have to outwork us like 2 to 3x every single day. And if you did that, well, then first of all, you wouldn't be 100% confident you've derived the strategy correctly. So it'd be hard to even put in 2 to 3x the time every single day. And then you'd be sitting there like, well, screw this. Who's got 80 hours to do all this stuff, all this work every single day? So if that's you, shoot us a DM. Our DMs are currently closed right now. The hospital is currently closed to new patients. But when the hospital does open for new patients, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify for utilizing our S cubed methodology.